US 56. Yeah. Alright, today we are talking about US 56. Please forgive my voice, I've been a little sick the last couple of days. And we are going to Kansas City, which is about the best we could hope for the Chiefs this year after what they've done this season. We are kicking off our playoff special with US 56, which we see runs from Springer, New Mexico to Kansas City, Missouri. It is maybe the longest road in Kansas, but does not spend much time outside of it. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Yeah, let's bump those subscribe numbers. We've also got a Patreon, which you can check out. We got lots of cool stuff going on. You can request exits, lots of fun stuff like that. And you can also request your exit with a $5 super sticker. I don't know what next week's is going to be yet as of the time of this recording because the playoffs will determine that, but I will put a note in the Patreon as soon as I know, and then also in YouTube shortly thereafter. Okay, let's get to US 56. We are going eastbound, but this will probably be the only US 56 video. Here we are on I-25, and we get our sign for US 56 in Springer. We aren't actually meeting US 56 here. We are meeting Business 25, the business loop, but we don't have a sign for that. And here we are in Springer, and we see Junction 56 and 412 shortly. 412 also not on that sign on I-25. And we see the beginning of US 56 and US 412 right here, put together on the same sign, and we see turn right for Clayton. So that's what we shall do. Our first mileage sign, we get Gladstone and Clayton, so those are the two cities we're signed for. And we get to Gladstone, and this is it. This is the whole thing. So not much happening in Gladstone. Population maybe 6, I don't know. And here we are in Clayton. It's quite a bit bigger than Gladstone is. It's probably the biggest thing we've hit for a while, and we're getting a junction of US 64 and 87 along with 56 and 412, so 4 US highways. And this was requested by the Dirtpog, so thank you so much, I appreciate the request. We've got that junction just ahead, we'll take a closer look at it too. Also, wow, Gladstone, we got My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 is the only movie in town playing. It's pretty sad. I didn't even know there was a 2. And here's what we get at the actual intersection. So we've got Ports to Plains corridor, Boise City straight ahead, Raton and Dalhart the other ways. I was in Dalhart not too long ago. Smelled like a slaughterhouse, honestly. And New Mexico, we're getting just state line as our bottom line control city here. They don't even tell us what state. And right here we pass a point of interest. Nathaniel wanted to see this. He requested it on the Patreon, so I appreciate that. He wants to see the Northwest Texas monument or geocode sort of thing. So I couldn't find it anywhere on Street View, and I looked it up and I could not find an accurate picture of the actual sign right now. They all seem to be wrong, so you guys can try on that. I didn't see anything good, but here is the northwest corner of Texas, right across that gate over there. The shoulder of US 56 is technically in Texas. And we can see on the map, they show the northwestern corner of Texas as being inside New Mexico, outside of the Texas state line, so I don't think that's accurate by Google Maps part either. A few miles after that, we never really get into Texas, we go straight into Oklahoma, so welcome to Oklahoma. And we continue to be on East 56, 64, and 412. So 3 roads here ever since Clayton. And here we're getting Boise City 19 and Guyman 81 miles away. We aren't going to Guyman, but US 64 is, so it works as a control. Here we're meeting 385, so that is another way to Dalhart. You can turn right and get to Dalhart there, and we are going straight ahead to Boise City. Here is the Boise City roundabout in downtown Boise City. We are going to separate highways a little bit here. 385 is going to go kind of out of the 12 o'clock exit, and it will meet up with 287, head north toward Lamar, Colorado. We are going to be leaving through the 3 o'clock exit. So now we are meeting 287 southbound. We didn't get a northbound meeting because you would have gone straight through downtown to get to northbound 287. Southbound, sign for Amarillo. And here's a wild sign. We're getting Elkhart, Kansas, Guyman for US 64 and 412, and then Oklahoma City, which none of these 3 roads go to, but I am actually in favor of having Oklahoma City on the sign. It's fine. This is the way to Oklahoma City if you were coming from here. And here's where we split, so 56 will finally be on its own for a little while. So we split off toward Elkhart, Kansas, 64 and 412 head for Guyman and Oklahoma City. Now we're getting Keys 8, Elkhart, Kansas 32, And now we are entering Elkhart, Morton County, and the state of Kansas all at the same time because Elkhart is right down at the very southern tip of Kansas. We get our Welcome to Kansas sign as well, and we see the name of the road that we're on is just US Highway 56. They didn't name the street in Elkhart. And we see these railroad tracks here. That's because this is the old Santa Fe Trail. That's the original Santa Fe line right there. A lot of this was Santa Fe Trail, US 56. Now we've got Rolla 15, Hugoton 34. I hope I'm saying the name of that city correctly. I honestly don't know. When I searched Hugoton, Kansas on YouTube, there's like 6 videos. One of them was an AI voice and the others had no VO whatsoever. The only thing that I learned was that there's an old McDonald's in Hugoton. Here in Hugoton, we have Setanta. I actually don't know how to say that one either. I could not find a YouTube video that pronounced it, but we're turning left here. Out of Setanta, we are getting Sublette 34 as our bottom line control city now. And now here we are meeting US 83. You can turn right to go to Liberal, left to go to Garden City. If you continue up US 83, it would get to Oakley at I-70 to tell you how far west we are on the 70 corridor. And Sublette straight ahead. Probably ought to have some Dodge City here. Once we get out of Sublette, which is only like a mile after that last intersection, we do finally get Dodge City 49. And now we're meeting US 400. Boss King Inc. wanted to see this. He requested that in the Patreon, so I do appreciate that. Thanks so much. The first time I saw this road, I was driving in southern Kansas. I didn't know that it existed, and then I saw it and I was like, what could that be? What? There's no Route 00? There's no Route 0? What could it possibly be a spur or whatever of? But I know about the 400 series routes now, but it's still a ridiculous name, and almost all of it is concurrent with other roads, and it's basically all in Kansas anyway. There should not be a US 400. Now we're meeting US 283, and we are going to be signed for Kinsley straight ahead, Jetmore if you turn left. And here's another look at that 283 junction. So yeah, we see you turn right for 283, or we go straight and we're on 283, 56, and 400, another triple. Outside of Dodge City, we're going to lose 400 and we will continue on 56 and 283 around the southeastern portion of Dodge City. And here we meet Wyatt Earp Boulevard, and that is the main drag of Dodge City if you turn left, but we are turning right. We are heading out of town, so we never really get into Dodge. We do pass the Dodge City Regional Airport, and then we see this Dodge City sign as we leave as well. This is in our rear view mirror that we see. And now we're meeting US 50. We're still kind of in the Dodge City area. We're meeting US 50, and so now we're going to be 50, 56, and 283 together here. Kinsley now 30 miles away. And now we are losing 283. It's going to turn left, and it will get to Waukene on I-70 for the I-70 corridor once it gets up that far north. 50 and 56 will stay together here. Kinsley is still our bottom line road. We haven't gotten that much closer to Kinsley because there's been a lot of junctions in Dodge City because there's so many US highways meeting in the Dodge City area. And here we approach Kinsley. 50 and 56 are going to separate, so we are going to turn right to stay on 56. They will meet again in the Kansas City metro area, and you would rather stay on 50 if you were going all the way there because it's the faster route. And here is another request. This is the Edwards County Historical Museum and Sod House. This was requested by David Royston, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was requested on the Patreon, and this looks like a cool stop if you happen to be in Kinsley, Kansas. And remember, we turned right to get off of US 50. Now we are going under US 50, so we just kind of looped around a little bit. Now we're north of 50 again. And now we're meeting US 183, and 183 is going to be concurrent with us for a short time as well. We will split with 183. 183 goes left, and on the 70 corridor, that would get you to Hayes, 56 straight ahead. Larned is now our bottom line control city. And here we are in Larned, and oh, they have a quick shop. They have a Taco Bell. Yeah, this Larned might be all right. Never heard of this town before. And Great Bend, a city I have heard of, is going to be our next control city, and we're going to turn right for that. And we see Great Bend is just 20 miles away. One of the bigger cities in western Kansas. We go through some of the bigger cities of western Kansas, I feel like. Dodge City, Great Bend, McPherson. This is where we meet US 281 in Great Bend. If you turn left, you will get to Russell. That's where you meet I-70 at Russell. And going straight, we head toward Lyons. Here's another look at that intersection. So we see K96 and K156 are also going to be concurrent with us, 281 either way here, and that's a pretty tall building for a western Kansas town right there. Now we've got Lyons 26 and Hutchinson 56. We aren't actually going through Hutchinson. That is a K96 control city, but Hutchinson obviously much larger city than any of the others around, so sensible to sign it. Here we are in Lyons. We've got their probably only stoplight in town, and K96 is turning right for Hutchinson, and we will continue straight down US 56. And now we're getting McPherson 28 miles away. Here we are in downtown McPherson, looking like an okay looking town here at Kansas Avenue and Main Street. Nice looking downtown. And this is Business 81, which used to be US 81, but US 81 is on 135 now. We will continue straight down 56. And here we're meeting I-135, and it is signed for Salina and Wichita, as it is throughout its entire run. On 135, the exit for 56 looks like this, and we're getting McPherson, which makes sense, and Marion, which, we don't actually get to Marion on 56, so that's probably not the best thing to be signed there. And also, Marion is a very small town, like 1,000 people. But we see Marion is our bottom line city at 33 miles away. Right outside of Marion, we're meeting US 77, and 77 and 56 will be concurrent as we turn left at this roundabout. If you were to continue straight, you would be on K150 for Emporia, which is probably what 56 should have been signed for coming off of 135. And now we're getting Council Grove and Junction City. Junction City is for US 77. Here we're getting Business 56 heading into Harrington, but we will avoid Harrington and keep on the new road and head toward Junction City and Council Grove. And here is where we have our split, so Junction City and Manhattan under construction, both straight ahead on US 77. We are turning right for Council Grove. Council Grove now 23 miles away. And here is downtown Council Grove. We are also with K177 here, and it's a nice looking downtown. Here's where things get a little weird. So coming out of Council Grove, now we're getting Allen 15 and Olathe 100. Kansas prefers to sign county seats. Wherever the road is going to the next county seat, then that's what we're getting. And Olathe is the county seat of Johnson County, so that's why we're getting Olathe. But Olathe also is a suburb of Kansas City, and it's pretty far away, and this isn't really the best way to get there anyway, so really doesn't make any sense. I would absolutely not sign Olathe here. If you're going to sign something far, then sign Kansas City. They stick with it though. We get K99 and Olathe 82. This would be in the big city of Allen. And after meeting K99, now we're getting KTA I-335 3 miles away, Burlingame 20 and Olathe 78. Here we are meeting I-335. This is the only exit of I-335 that is not its end or its beginning. This used to be called the Admire exit, and we see it signed for Topeka and Emporia. On the Kansas Turnpike itself, we're getting 56 for Council Grove and Osage City, so that's a newer sign. I did look back to 2007 and it's still that, but when I drove on this road much longer ago, it was always Admire, because that's the name of the exit, always just Admire. And when you get off the Turnpike, you have your choice of Council Grove and Olathe, and then Reading and Osage City thrown on there too. Nobody would get off of this road to go to Olathe. You would just stay on the Turnpike. Much faster. Come on. And over here we are getting K78 and Osage City 12, Olathe 75. I feel like Osage City is a fine bottom line control city here. I know we don't quite get to it, but it's, you know, the way to get there. We do see that we are on the Santa Fe Trail historical route, and this is kind of the Flint Hills area as well, so that's a really beautiful part of the state of Kansas. And here's another look at the Flint Hills themselves. You get a better view from the Turnpike, but this is a pretty good view as well. And now we're going to have a split with the state highway here, Burlingame and Osage City. So Osage City is a couple miles away if you go right, and we are going to be signed for Burlingame left. And here is downtown Burlingame. It's not far away from Lawrence, but I've never been there. And now the Olathe signs disappear for a while. Now we're getting Scranton and US 75 as the bottom line control city. Here is Topeka Boulevard, which was old US 75, and the new US 75 freeway is straight ahead, and it's signed for Topeka and Linden. And I have actually taken US 75 down to 56 here to drive around. So here we see East 56 and 75 North. Obviously 75 North will be turning left, 75 South turn right. I had to make note of this passing through here. Here's Santa Fe Trail High School. We played them. It was a home game, but I never had any idea where it was located. Here it is. And we are getting now Overbrook and Olathe. So Olathe comes back onto the mileage sign. And this is Baldwin Junction here. We are meeting US 59, so Lawrence, Ottawa, 1250 Road, which is old US 59. And this is more what Baldwin Junction looks like in my mind. I haven't been down there in I don't know how long, but this is what it always used to look like when I drive through there in the 90s. Two-way stop, two US highways meeting in the middle of nowhere, and not even a four-way stop. 56 has to stop for 59. And now we're getting Baldwin City 4 and Olathe 26. I still don't think Olathe should be there, even at 26 miles away. Here is downtown Baldwin. Baldwin was like the small town that was pretty close to Lawrence that like our moms would take us to during summer vacation to go antique shopping, and it was always really boring. I imagine it's probably a fine town, but when I was there when I was like 9 years old, it was always kind of lame. The last slide we saw was downtown Baldwin. US 56 does not go through downtown. This is the closest we get to downtown, this stoplight here, which I don't think there was a Baldwin stoplight back in the day. And we see, yeah, Baldwin-ish things going on. I think there's a Taco Bell down that way too. And now we're getting Edgerton 9 and Olathe 20. Edgerton's not much, but here is Gardner. And the main reason I don't like them signing Olathe the way they do is Gardner is over 20,000 people. In fact, other than Dodge City, which we barely skirted through, Gardner is the largest city that we've been on US 56 in its entirety, and they haven't signed it once. It was not signed at all until you actually get to Edgerton, so I feel like Gardner should be signed over Olathe for quite a bit of that way, and Olathe, like I say, it's just part of the Kansas City metro area. Sign Kansas City. And now we're going to be merging onto I-35. So we get our 35 North, East 50, and 56. So 35 at this point is also US 50, so we are meeting US 50 once again, as I promised. And now we're getting Olathe to Kansas City 20, and this is the only time it makes sense to sign Olathe on a mileage sign, is as a secondary, at least on any major two-digit national roads. Here's our intersection with 435, no control cities given, anywhere, ever, KDOT dropping the ball on this, and we get 2K10 straight ahead and US 50 exit here. We get off at Shawnee Mission Parkway along with US 69. Nice. Never understood why US 69 gets off here, and you'll see why in a minute. So here we're meeting Metcalf Avenue. South used to be 169, goes into Overland Park, and Metcalf Avenue North heads toward KCK. But when you get on Metcalf Avenue North, it's also North US 69, which goes and meets I-35 again and then rejoins it. Who would ever follow US 69 that way? Get off on Shawnee Mission Parkway, go on to Metcalf, and then get back onto 35. Why? Just keep it on 35. What's the point? And here we're meeting where 169 is heading north. You can turn left to go north on US 169. This is Rainbow Boulevard, I believe. This heads to like the cooler part of Kansas City, Kansas, in this area by KU Med. And speaking of cooler part of Kansas City, Kansas, we've got Joe's Barbecue. Awesome, awesome barbecue place. Get the Z, man. That is not on US 56, but that's just a few blocks north of where we are on 56. Here we're meeting State Line Road. So after State Line Road, we will be in Kansas City, Missouri. And we get the sign, entering Kansas City, Missouri. And we are merging onto Ward Parkway, one of the grand boulevards of Kansas City. So we see 56, we go straight. So here is Ward Parkway. Ward Parkway, always famous for giant mansions and just big, huge avenue, boulevard kind of thing. Right here, Ward Parkway will be on both sides of Brush Creek, and we are going to cross back over to the other side of Brush Creek on US 56 on this definitely not compliant shield here. Here is Brush Creek. As we cross it, we can see the plaza and that area of Kansas City in the background there. And we are going to be turning right onto 47th Street, so we will be taking 47th Street down past the plaza. See, Google Maps marks this as US 56, but there's no US 56 signage at all in this part of town. But here we go through the plaza area. And here's a better view of the plaza. We've got all those cool Seville-style towers. And toward the end of Country Club Plaza, we've got Commerce Bank. They were my bank in college. Good luck getting your money. Yeah, silly enough to give me a credit card in college. And at this point, 47th Street becomes Emmanuel Cleaver Boulevard, and we are going to be turning right to stay on 56 to cross Brush Creek once again. So we get another, yeah, definitely not MUTC compliant shield here. As we do that, we pass Winstead's awesome burger joint. Do check that out if you're in Kansas City. And here we go across the creek once again. Nice looking area. And we are going to be turning left onto MLK Drive to continue on US 56. And here we see the Nelson Atkins Art Museum across the creek and get a view of its front lawn. This museum goes hard, way harder than you think anything in KC has to go. This is the best mid-sized museum in the country, in my opinion. Beats out anything outside of Chicago, DC, New York, Philly, and Boston. It is awesome. We get to Troost Avenue, a pretty well-known street in Kansas City, and if you go down just a couple blocks, you could go to Go Chicken Go, another Kansas City institution. Now we're getting to the Paseo, and toward the end of US 56. And from the Paseo, just a couple blocks north of here, we've got the flagship gates, kinda near the plaza, kinda near the Nelson, all that. And now we're getting the end of US 56 shortly as we meet US 71. And in fact, here is the end of US 56. We get our US 56 end sign at US 71 in fairly central Kansas City. So, it's quite a road, and let's talk about Todd's the way it should be. I'm going to say it should be, and we're just talking eastbound. Springer, because that's where you get off, then Clayton, Boise City, Hugoton, even though there's no YouTube videos about it, it is kind of a main junction. Then Sublette, Dodge City, Kinsley, Great Bend, Lyons, McPherson for sure. Emporia, I feel like is probably the way to go to from there. I know that's not on 56, but there's really no place else 56 is going to of any size whatsoever. Council Grove, also, there's better ways to get there from McPherson, so you don't want to sign that. Then Council Grove, though, then Osage City, Burlingame, why not, and Baldwin City from Burlingame, Gardner, then finally Olathe, but really you could kind of ignore Olathe because we got Kansas City right after it. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode. This was a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be when I thought of the idea, but it's been fun. I also want to say a special thanks to our Patreons. Thank you so much for those of you who are signed up. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And we will be back next week with a to-be-determined video that hopefully involves the Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs. Beat those Dolphins. All right. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Todd, and until next time, keep on trucking.